Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to GamesMaster Series 3, Episode 1, a fan commentary with moi, Harold Rutherford Yack, and him, Jonathan. Bonjour!
Bonjour, I am Monsieur JL76Gaming.
Welcome to this commentary on GamesMaster Series 3, Episode 1. And what are we seeing here? The brand... I'm going to stop doing that. What are we seeing here? The brand new introduction, which is crap, actually, because it's nowhere near as good as the first two series, and, well, nowhere near as good as anything that came after it, really. There were some really, really good intros, but that is not one of them.
Why do we get lots of kids locked in cages? That's a bit weird.
Because that's how they roll on GamesMaster. Oh, and look! What have they done to Dominic?
Oh, I can't believe they did that. That's sick.
Auntie Marisha, why are you smiling? You loved Dominic. Well, don't worry, kids. That's what's going to happen to this guy after the end of this series. And you'll be glad of it.
This is, of course, Dexter Fletcher, for those of you who don't know.
No, you're wrong. It's Dexter Fletcher. What?
Dominic Diamond's replacement. Why am I doing that in a Scottish accent? I've got a Scottish accent anyway. Don't know why I did that.
Do an impression of Dominic Diamond.
I do a terrible Scottish accent.
Oh, 3D cat! 3D cat! I don't think we ever see that again. Oh, chalk that up as a positive for Series 3. I think we're actually +1, so it's only downhill from here, baby.
Cool, Mortal Kombat, and I wasn't paying attention. What system is this for?
I think that was the Mega Drive. But, John, I hope you like Mortal Kombat, my friend, because this, tonight, is a Mortal Kombat special. Obviously, Mortal Kombat had just come out in the UK, and they were going mad on it. Or, Midway came to them and said, oh, well, we'll give you £5,000 to show our game on your show. So they said, oh, of course, we'll do a whole show on it.
That is probably what happened, because they were sponsored. They were doing a lot of commercial activities here because they were sponsored by McDonald's there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, legend has it that is why Dominic Diamond quit the show, only to rejoin for Season 4.
Yes. I do believe he may have spoken about that on his interview with Alan Stewart, the GamesMaster.
Yes. So go and look that up.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/MameMeister. And it's the Dominic Diamond interview. I don't know how he managed to do that, and I don't know how he managed to get his hair like that.
He's also interviewed, Dominic Diamond, I should say, has also been interviewed by another couple of people in the YouTube community since then, so he's not totally unapproachable, so I'm hoping to one day have him on my desert island.
Maybe we could get him on one of these commentaries. Obviously, on a Season 3 episode, so we can just lay into it no end.
And you two are going to play together. Right, we've got two versions of it featuring exclusively...
Right, so Dexter, why are you talking at us?
He's a cockney geezer, isn't he?
He's a cockney geezer. Up the apples and pears, mate.
Yes, he's just an old dog and bone.
Right, look at his shirt. The Games Room. Do you think that's his YouTube channel?
Possibly.
And my goodness, look at his hair. It's just a cornucopia of terrible haircuts, this show. So
why are they going on different TVs?
Just because they have TVs. Oh, here's Tim Boone, our old friend. Oh, if it weren't for Tim Boone, this show would be a complete train wreck. Sorry, I'm gonna stop saying things like that. I'm gonna treat this as if it were a Dominic Diamond episode. That's the last negative thing you're gonna hear me say about Series 3. Okay.
Getting back to your earlier question, yes, thankfully I do like Mortal Kombat. It's the only fighting game that I've ever truly loved. So, yeah, I love this game.
I used to like Mortal Kombat as well. It was one of those games that I rented from the newspaper shop. Yes, I used to rent games from my local newsagent. And we rented the Mega Drive version, I think it was. The one where Scorpion says, "Come here," instead of "get over here." Now, every time I heard "get over here" after that, I thought, well, you're quoting the wrong thing. He says, "Come here." But that's the only game that he says "come here" in. The rest he says, "get over here." Just a fun fact for you there. I told you I wouldn't get technical, didn't I? But this is obviously getting very technical.
When he's trying to, but that's a great lick. This could be good. No champion. He's blocked it. No, Kano comes back. These guys are good. Oh, great. And he's done it. Scorpion. Finish him off, Scorpion.
Oh,
he didn't know how to do it, did he?
No, I was going to say, oh, look at that. It's 6:30 on the rig clock.
Oh.
No, sorry, this isn't an oil rig, is it? It's a prison. Oh, a fun fact. Getting technical again. Do you recognize this particular set from, oh, I don't know, another sci-fi show from the 90s?
No. I don't.
Well, let me give you a clue. Stoke me a clipper, I'll be back for breakfast.
Is this the set of Red Dwarf?
Pretty much, yes. There was one episode, I've forgotten which one. Is it The Adjudicator or something like that? Where there's a big, gigantic... Yeah, there's a gigantic... Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? The Executioner?
Maybe, can't remember.
The Executioner! I think it's a gigantic Scottish bloke who's going around trying to hunt down Craig Charles. And in one particular episode, it's filmed in this very set.
Well, and it does look like the kind of place a lot of those series 4 and 5 episodes would have been filmed, right enough.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Maybe they used it for other shots as well in other episodes. I should imagine they would have done that to save money and time and effort.
Do you know, I actually used to watch the commentaries on Red Dwarf, and this is the kind of things I used to talk about, so if I had actually remembered any of that stuff, I could have backed up that story, but I've not listened to the commentaries for such a long time.
Yes, it's been at least 2 years since I have listened to those commentaries, but I think I heard that.
I don't very often listen to DVD commentaries, but I did feel inclined to listen to the Red Dwarf ones.
Sorry, I'm just going to break off here by saying, I love the crowd watching this, actually, in the game. It's just a load of monks swaying from side to side. Do you think they've been brainwashed?
I thought they were Hare Krishnas.
Yes, I thought they were peaceable chaps. They're watching people kick 7 shades of shoe shine out of each other, to quote Dominic Diamond.
Yeah, but I think they've been brainwashed.
Yeah. Everybody in video game land has been brainwashed. Finish him, right, do it! Right. Oh, that was awful.
Here's an interesting question, seeing as we've got Mortal Kombat. Who was your favourite character in Mortal Kombat to play?
That's a good question. I used to love Raiden because of his teleporting move and the lightning. But I used to like... Oh, I've forgotten his name. I've completely forgotten his name. He used to wear a sun hat type thing, which he could take off and hurl across the screen at the opponent to chop their head off. But I've forgotten his name.
Was that not Kun Leo or something?
Or something like that. I've forgotten his name. He was in Mortal Kombat 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Kun Leo. My favourite was, and here's a bit where I forget his name as well, I think it was Shang Tsung. And the reason I liked him is because he could morph into any of the other fighters, so he could go all the fighters if he wanted.
Yes.
If you knew the button sequences well enough, of course.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And there was also the secret character, Reptile. Was he in the first game? The green version of Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
But he was not a secret character in the second game. He might have been a secret character in the first game.
Hold on a minute. Did I call Scorpion Sub-Zero earlier? I hope I didn't.
Possibly.
I'm going to get a lot of comments about that.
Let's find out what games are packing a punch and hitting the streets in the reviews.
Right, enough of Dextah, because it's time to go to the review zone, which thankfully is something that remained from the first 2 series, and something that I always quite enjoyed.
Yeah. What a coincidence, now reviewing the game we've already seen.
Yes, of course. Yeah, because this is, what is it? It's a Street Fighter special. Oh, no, it isn't. It's a Mortal Kombat special. And Jazz's hair has not got any better from Season 2, has it?
That is awesome.
Lovely. Who the heck is Steve Merritt?
I prefer the reviews on Bad Influence, because as a kid that come on, I thought it was really good because you can play as Sub-Zero.
I thought it was really good because I could cut the man's head off, and I'd like to do that in real life. But I can't because I'll get locked up, oh yes, I was already once.
Can I just say, rather than sounding like a kid, you sounded like an old lady there, but never mind.
It was Auntie Mauritia. Yes, that's how I got my start on GamesMaster, you know. On the GamesMaster oil rig, before I acidized Dominic Diamond. He was tasty.
Oh, very, very tasty. He's very tasty. Right. Anyway,
E Honda was always my favourite character in Street Fighter 2, if only because I was rubbish and I could only do the 100 hand slap, so I would beat up my brother, not literally, in the game of course, by just using the 100 hand slap all the time.
yes.
Oh, by the way, 5th of November, that was released on Bonfire Night.
How ironic, it's roughly around about this time of year that we're recording this, just before, a few days before the 5th of November.
Oh, it is indeed, but that gives away the fact that it takes me 2 months to edit these things.
Oh, look, it's a real life Luke and look.
Yes, I'll have you know, Mr. Jonathan, that these are the actual actors that were digitized for the game.
No way.
Yes,
Really? Wow.
they are indeed.
Was this one of the first games to use digitized characters like that?
I believe it was. When did Batman Forever come out?
1993?
Definitely after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this was a trailblazer, wasn't it, in terms of the mocap? Oh, he's punching his own arm. Yeah, so Mortal Kombat takes its place in history for that.
I wonder if any of these actors here went on to be famous. Probably not.
Maybe so. Maybe we should look them up on Wikipedia. In fact, I think he just said some of the films that he worked on. I think he said that he worked on a Jackie Chan film.
As a double, maybe?
And this woman stepped in at the last minute. You can tell she isn't quite as good at the martial arts moves.
Is it wrong that I'm aroused by her?
Not at all. Not at all, my friend. Oh, look at that. He cheated. He didn't actually do the flying kick. He just sat on the floor in his slippers. I could do that.
I couldn't. I think if I tried to get in that position now, I would never get back up. Johnny Cage. Toasty. Do you remember that was Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, I was enjoying that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that too, because, oh, I don't want to spoil anything, but we may be seeing quite a bit more Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Do you know Mortal Kombat 2 was probably my favourite of all the Mortal Kombats? It came out around about the same time as Sensible World of Soccer, because I remember buying an Amiga Power magazine, and the big 10-page reviews of both SWAS and Mortal Kombat 2 in this magazine. It was awesome.
So what rated higher? What got the higher percentage?
I can't remember. I think it was probably Mortal Kombat. Just a bit. They were if I'd say they're probably similar though. Both of them are classic games. Yes.
So here we have two of the actual actors that digitized the characters in the game.
Dexter thinks, so I'm in there. With Johnny Cage. Sorry, I'm taking the mickey out of Dexter again. I do apologise.
I'd like him to rattle my cage. Know what I mean?
Stay with us until after the break.
Sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
And we're back for part 2. What's going to happen? Who's going to win? Johnny Cage or Sonya Blade? Place thy bets now. It's like Banzai, isn't it? We should do a commentary of Banzai. Oh, Tim Boone's back.
Yeah, we should do a commentary of Robot Wars as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
I must have seen all the episodes of Robot Wars back in the day because I was obsessed with it. So we must do that. Anyway, getting back to this show momentarily. The clock still said 6:30. It's stuck. Should get that fixed. Maybe there's a lack of power here in the prison.
Not a real clock.
Nah, sadly. But I should commentate briefly about the difference, the major difference between this series and the other series, apart from our good friend Mr. D. Fletcher. And that is the fact that they switched to a completely new format, which they never really went back to. it was the format you'll better know from Games World, although I'm not sure which came first, Season 3 of GamesMaster or Season 1 of Games World. I think they were around about the same time. But if you watch Season 3 of GamesMaster, you will see there are lots and lots of similarities to Games World, in that it's a playoff format. There are 6 kids, or maybe 5 or 4, and they play off against each other, whittle them down to 1, and the winner at the end gets the golden joystick.
Whereas before it used to be an individual golden joystick for each set of games.
Yes, it used to be 3 different challenges. Say, for example, a dad versus his son, and the son would always win. Or brother versus sister, the sister would always win, or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I believe Sonia just whipped Johnny Casey's ass.
Do you mean quite literally? I'm going to wind back and have a look, because it might have been quite erotic.
No, I think she just beat him in a game.
Oh, pity.
Yeah.
Sorry, we did say there would be topless ladies in this episode, and...
This is as close we're going to get. As we're going to get to.
No, neither was I. Absolutely, it was a fantastic victory, almost flawless. Sonia, this means that you're our first celebrity to win the GamesMaster's Golden Joystick!
So, who is this coming out now to present the golden joystick?
A very buff-looking man.
With a mask. It was the Golden Skull.
It was the Golden Gimp.
The Golden Gimp. It was Dominic's concubine.
It'd been quite funny if Dominic came out and then he just took the mask off and battered Dexter Fletcher.
Yes! That should be a fan fiction. Dexter Fletcher stepped onto the set of Season 3 of GamesMaster when a muscle-bound fellow walked up to him and said to him in a Scottish accent, "Here, mate, what are you doing here?" Removing the helmet, he proceeded to bash Dexter Fletcher in the shoulder, because it was actually Dominic Diamond and he wasn't wearing his glasses, so he couldn't see. So he missed his head and hit his shoulder. Sorry, I'm blathering. Someone finish that fanfic, please.
Yes. Yes, and send it to Harry Yack at retroonline.com.
Yes. Now, the consultation zone, one of my favourite parts of the whole show. Except not in this case, because it's all about Mortal Kombat.
I think this was made up. Because it used to be that the kids would come on and say, "I've got a problem with Sonic the Hedgehog," but they're all asking about Mortal Kombat because it's a Mortal Kombat episode, and Mortal Kombat probably wasn't released at this point because that's probably why they did a special on it, because it was getting released in that week. So why did all these kids already have questions about Mortal Kombat when it wasn't released yet?
I know, it's a bit fishy, that, isn't it? In some senses, you would think, oh, they didn't actually have those questions and they were told to say them.
Yes, that's just one theory.
My pleasure, young man. Next.
GamesMaster, I've heard there's a secret level in Starwing on the SNES.
Wait a minute, who's this darts player?
Is a bit of a goodie. Fly through the difficult asteroids level.
Oh wait, it's not just Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, Star
Take it
Fox.
all back. Yes.
Or Star Wing, as it was known in the UK.
Yes. Croak, help me. Hey, it's me, Slippy. Sorry, I'll stop doing that.
Oh dear, we've got to that point in the commentary where we just read off the screen. Oh, that's cool. Oh, you can get a slot machine in Starwing. I didn't know that. That's actually a good cheat.
Did they think it was cool for him to keep talking down into the camera like that? I just think it looks stupid.
Well, I actually quite like the fact that you can see all the kids in the background at the top, and the fact that it actually is a prison. So look at that. They've even got the 3 there to signify that it's Season 3 on the TV.
Oh my God! Look at the state of your. Look at this grease and it's horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what's the worst haircut out of those 3. I'm just going to say that they're all 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I just think Dexter's just woke up out of his bed and just not bothered brushing his hair.
Oh, do you think GamesMaster was blue screened in then? Probably not.
Not sure. Probably not.
Okay, I know. Oh, dancing. Who does he think he is? Reckless Rick from Crystal Maze? Also, they're sitting in car chairs there.
Oh.
Right.
Why's that guy wearing a leather jacket indoors?
Because he's cool. He's Tim Boone. He's a teddy boy.
Do you know who I've realised who he looks like? It looks like Bob Carroll, geez.
Oh, he does
Spit
a
the
bit
dog.
with the haircut. Yes, he is. If he grew a mustache, he would be him. Yes,
Yes.
I never noticed that.
Yeah. There you go.
Ah, well, crikey. So, while we have another fight going on here, and these two guys are commentating, let's me just draw attention to the fact that it's a total mess. I know I said I wouldn't cast aspersions upon this particular series again, but it has to be said, Dexter Fletcher ruins the commentary for this. You've got Tim Boone, who's a fantastic video games commentator, and thankfully they've turned down Dexter's mic, so you can't really hear what it's saying. But if they'd turned it up, it would just be a complete mess, and you wouldn't be able to hear any of them. They're just talking over each other. I don't know if they ironed this out in the later episodes of the series.
I'm guessing the reason they're talking over each other is because Dexter Fletcher can't stop talking.
Probably.
Yeah.
I used to think that in some of the later series, commentary was sometimes dubbed over the top afterwards, and
Yeah.
maybe it was, but no, I don't really think it is.
I must admit, I can't hear, as you know, I can't hear the audio as we're recording this, but I could, when you look at a clip there, you can see them both talking at the same time. Yeah, definitely.
The fact that you can't hear it is a blessing in disguise, I'd say, John.
Yeah, well, we'll hear it back once once it's up on the YouTube channel.
Okay, enough about that. Let's have some positives about this season, because we're coming to the end of the show, and I've not said anything good about this season. So, John, do you have anything that you like about this show?
I like the fact they're playing Mortal Kombat because it's an awesome game. That's a positive.
Oh, yes. It is a good game, but I guess it's not such a good show if you don't like fighting games or Mortal Kombat. But there again, the general demographic of GamesMaster would love this stuff, I'd guess.
I generally, as a rule of thumb, don't really like fighting games. This is, for some reason, an exception.
Misses up on the ice flow. In goes Scorpion. Leg sweep misses again. These guys have sussed each other out. They're not mucking about now. It's a good final. Absolutely. No leg sweep there. Oh, not energy bar. Sub-Zero's missing out here. Sub-Zero's done well. And Scorpion. And he can finish it.
Probably.
Oh, he did the death move!
Oh, well done.
Which was obviously recorded afterwards. That kid is loving that. He loved that death move. Oh, dear.
Yeah. I think I ended up liking Mortal Kombat because I read about the review of it in that same magazine where I'm reading the SWAT reviews, maybe.
Are there any games that you saw in magazines and thought, I'm going to get that, but you never actually got the chance to, but as an adult, revisiting your old obsessions, you actually got the game and then you were really disappointed with it?
That's a very good question, and one that I'd have to come up with an answer for before the end of the show. There must be one, and I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Not prepared for an answer. Is there any that you've played in that situation?
Nothing in particular, but while you think of an answer, I'll give you one thing that I like about this episode and Season 3 in general, is the fact that it is a lot like Games World, which was actually my preferred show. So the fact that Dexter Fletcher isn't necessarily as good a presenter as Dominic Diamond is tempered by the fact that it's a lot like Games World, which I really love.
The only thing I can think of, and it's slightly different, but the only thing I can think of is games that I used to love when I was younger, and I've played them since, and I think they're rubbish now. Like, because some games age better than others. So games like, for example, I used to love Kickoff and Kickoff 2 before the days of Sensible Soccer, and I go back and play Sensible Soccer and it still plays good today. But if I go back and play Kickoff, not so much.
I used to enjoy Kickoff because you could edit the player names.
Yeah.
And that was quite rare for a console game.
And the kits.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it had battery backup as well, unlike certain other games that did have edit functions but no battery backup. So you'd edit all the player names to be real, change them from Donna Kebab or whatever they were to the real names, and then you'd think, oh, I've had enough of this, turn the console off, turn it on again. They were all lost. All your 5 hours of hard work is down the drain.
Yeah. I know, Ian.
Well, I don't know why we're talking about this, because this was Mortal Kombat GamesMaster. And look at that. The show has come to an end while we were whittering on about nonsense. John, do you have anything to say in closing?
Bring back Dominic.
Yes, yes. Hear, hear. And various other phrases that you can repeat.
Yes.
Because that is the end of this commentary, and I have nothing witty to say except ip dip do, cat's got the flu, Dexter's got the chicken pox, and so have you. Good night.
Good night. You edit that one, I think.